Now let's talk today about a couple of things. One is how to develop the voice, identifying the voice, find the real voice. And there are certain exercises that have been done for many, many years. I didn't create them. I learned them from great singers. And these great singers would tell you something and you'd say, okay. You didn't really say why. You didn't always know why. You said, okay. And if somebody said, do brr, then you went blue. So I'd go, in this case, it wasn't explained to me for a long time, and finally somebody said, you see, that relaxes the root of the tongue and relaxes your throat. And you're completely relaxed, which means you can't use this to sing with. You have to use something else, which is the whole point. So when I do this one, among other ones, causes a response here. So I go, see, I'm not doing that. That's reaction. I'm going, that's my action. And my reaction is here. The danger is if I push out on that like that, it goes on my voice and I'm choking and I can't sing. So you can't push at all. You have to, that's why they use the word lean in Italian instead of spinge. They use appoggiare. So I go, and there it is. It's almost like sighing. Tito Schipa and Claudio Muzzo called it sighing. You go, and you sigh right against the diaphragm, right here. So when you breathe, it's one of the many exercises you have to practice all the time. You pull this in when you breathe, and when you start to sing, you do your normal exhalation you've been doing all your life. You inhale, and you exhale. So Schipa called it sighing. Muzio called it sighing. Kick the voice up in the head. I did that on the women and countertenors tape. I was trying to show how the voice responds according to what you do with the breath. If I tighten that, you hear that. If I do this, I get a reaction in my throat that is then affects the emission of my breath. So the idea is to learn to do nothing up here. And this process of identification of the instrument and development of the instrument happens as you do a series of exercises, and you do these vocalises all the time. You can do them all the time. Every time you have a spare moment, every time you have a quiet moment, nobody's looking, right? But this is very basic. Now, behind that, you do the vowels. A, E, I, O, U. If I do it without any disturbance, I get a constant speed of the trilling of the tongue. And I go. So it boils down to one emission. Rule number 2 of the bel canto school was never change the emission. So if I can get going and go, I can take a whole text. I can sing. What's a good word? Or somebody has text, right? I can go. Die weiße Lieder dieser Knaben. So I go. And that way I'm maintaining a constant emission with an absolutely relaxed throat, tongue, and jaw. Look at my jaw. It's not doing anything. These people that go I'm breaking one of the rules. Actually, a couple of the rules. Rule number 1 is no action in the throat. Rule number 2 is no change of emission. So if we go the action, every action has an opposite and equal reaction. So when I do the action, I get a reaction by disturbing my emission or breaking my legato. So the idea is to do vocalises that constantly contribute to legato, throatless singing. Now, there are ways to breathe that encourage this. One of the oldest and one of the best ones was to pull this in as you breathe in, and then exhale by letting it go. If I start singing in the middle of that exhalation, what happens? I go, what am I doing? See? So in the old days, they called that silent singing. Sing silently. That means that you put your mind in that singing mode while you're exhaling. You go, I'm singing like a whole aria when I do that. So I go, I'm just exhaling the whole time what I've been doing for 81 years this year. I'm 81 now. And I started exhaling when somebody slapped me on the bottom when I was born. I went, ah! And that's it. Ever since then, it's been the vocal game. And the vocal game is based on breathing, just like it was then. It makes your throat respond a certain way if you breathe this way. If you go, you know, there's no yawning, there's no stretching, there's no spreading of the throat or the phonation. It opens the throat vertically and the larynx goes down because I'm inhaling. Look, I'm not sucking my larynx down with muscles like that. I can sing that way. I can sing that way, but it's against the rules of the old school, which was, rule number 1 was no action in the throat. So if I do nothing in my throat and I go, ah. Now how do I get some voice? Well, rule number 2, you can't change your emission, and you can't change your emission unless you have one. So you must get an emission, which means I have to breathe. So then we're back to square one. Here it is. Breathe in, and then sigh or exhale and let it fall, or lean on your diaphragm and go like that. Breathe in. If I'm singing big music, right, I still exhale. I go, if that's not enough voice, I'm not going to sing Otello because I can't exhale any more than that without pushing something. And I'm not still able to sing at age 81 because I pushed something. Let me tell you, the singers I had, the colleagues I had who pushed things, they got in terrible vocal trouble. So the idea is you're supposed to set up in your mind, your voice is limited. Your throat's limited because you're not allowed to spread it or make any action in it. You'd like that. See, like I'm snoring, I go. Everything is completely let go in my throat. Now how do I sing? Oh, I can't sing. So what I do then, to be able to sing with a totally relaxed throat, is I breathe. So I go. Look at that. I'm just exhaling because I inhaled, I can exhale now. So inhaling then ends up like God did to Adam and breathed air into Adam and whatever it was that happened. We're the same way. We have to breathe in. Now let's talk about breathing in. It's very important. You'll notice when I breathe in, this goes in. See that? Look. And when I exhale, it relaxes and goes. If I relax that, it's going to go out. So the work in singing happens when you inhale, not when you exhale. So I breathe in. Now I'm working. And now I'm going to just go, let it go and exhale and go. But the exhale is guided, directed against the diaphragm. You don't exhale up and out. Obviously, you'll sound like that. If you do that. So you must absolutely direct your inhalation into your lower back. And then you start to exhale, and you exhale against your diaphragm. So everything is guided and directed. You know, you're driving the car down the road. You don't just let go of the steering wheel. The car is doing all the work, and the motor's pulling you and all that. But you still have to steer it. So we have to steer what's happening. So I'm going to breathe in. I'll go. How are you today? How are you today? I'm fine. How are you today? It's all one emission. It's all one exhalation. So I use these exercises called vocalises to get my throat to let go, and it doesn't help me. The throat doesn't help me. Believe me, letting go helps me. So I do that and go. How are you today? How are you today? So you're not doing anything. The throatless, jawless, and tongueless. Look at my jaw. My tongue. What is covering? Shoot another videotape on covering. But if you do nothing in your throat, it does what in America they call covering. It's not a very good word. It's passing is used in Europe, and it's a better word. You know, the voice passes. If I do nothing, I go. And the voice does this registration, and you've got registers in the voice and all kinds of things, but you do not need to manipulate anything in here. It's an acoustical modification and not a physical modification, because I've already established the throat I'm going to sing through, right? I mean, if I'm playing the trumpet, I want to go to a high note, I don't want to suddenly take off that mouthpiece and put on a great big mouthpiece. I have to play the trumpet with the mouthpiece I have and the air tube I have. Same thing with any wind instrument, right? So the idea is, I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to find vocalises that cause this to let go and maintain my emission. See? So let's say I get one like nyam nyam. Used to be a very common one. See, it sounds like it's in your nose because you go nyah, but it's not. If I go nyam 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 nyam. So you feel an intense kind of mask resonance. You suddenly become aware there's something happening. You sort of have to ideally ignore it. You ignore it and you depend on this, because now every time I do a nyam nyam, that's N-Y-A-M, look what happens. Nyam, 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 nyam. As long as I continue doing nyam nyam, it stays out. Nyam, 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 nyam. So while I'm doing that, the diaphragm is going, it's staying where it is, and the lower back, the air in the lower back, simply, my lower back closes like that and feeds the instrument. And when I identify the instrument, I always guide the exhalation away from here and absolutely onto my diaphragm. By guide, I mean I can exhale up and out, or I can exhale down and in. So I have a choice. I do have some choices. I'm just like a robot walking around there. There are some choices that we can make. Let's see if I can get a better. Boy, this lighting is really something. Oh. So how about that one? So I'm doing, what is that? Okay. So I'm going, yum, 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 look where my tongue is. Yum, 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 yum. My tongue stays in contact with my lower lip the whole time, totally relaxed. See? Everything happens down here. I take a breath behind me, and down, way down at the base of my spine, and then I exhale. But I exhale into the pit of my stomach, or into my diaphragm, see, into the epigastric area. There's all these names, and the solar plexus. Just so you exhale down here, and don't exhale up against your throat. So those exercises, you do them all the time, will place the voice for you and will cause a response in your diaphragm. In a sense, if you do them, you don't have to do anything else. Now, what about another one? Let's try another one. What about Bob? Now, what does Bob do? If I do M, a lot of people try to sing on M, but look what M does. It goes, it opens my nose, which means if I sing that way, I get no reaction, nothing. If I sing it, I get and that sound, talk to any experienced singer, that sound is inaudible over a big orchestra in a big theater. I should probably name the singers I learned these from. I learned the next one that we do, well, I learned from a couple of people. First, let's do Bob. So I'm going to close my nose, and there's a way to close the nose simply by using consonants. A lot of people use D. Da, da, dee, da, 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 dee, da, 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 da. D is in with the nose closed. In, da, da. See? Trouble with it, it makes you get a little bit busy with your, with your jaw and your teeth. You da da da, unless you do da 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 da, and don't use your jaw. These are a little harder. B is easier. Bob, except for our Hispanic friends who speak Spanish, and their B and V sound almost the same. So they can go, they can say beber, beber, and ver, ver, and beber, and when they do, if you're going to use B to stop up the nose, close the nose, the Hispanic-speaking people really need to practice a good old American, German, English, Italian B. Bob, 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 bob. There's some fabulous voices down there, and if they can't do it, you don't try to make them do Bob. Some singers can't go, can't relax the tongue enough, and not in the beginning. Eventually it happens, right? So if I do Bob, I go, ba, 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 ba. Now look at my nose, it can be close. Ba, ba, ba. If I keep my nose closed, I go, ba, 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 ba. I'm not doing that. I'm not covering anything. I'm not modifying my throat. I had the throat doctor look down my throat while I was doing that. And I said, what's happening back there? He said, nothing. Nothing. There's no action back there. It happens somehow, mysteriously, down in the diaphragm, and the voice automatically wants to pass up into the head voice if you can keep the nose closed. Now, a lot of singers singing the M and the nose is open. Ma, 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 ma. And all of a sudden, I'm choking. I have no room at all up there for my high notes. So what do? I have to modify. Ma, 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 bo, bo. I have to do something or I can't get my high notes. But why open your nose in the first place? Why not just go ba, 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 and it automatically happens. You don't have to think about it. So that's another vocalist. And look at this. Ba, 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 yum, 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 yum. It looks like I'm doing that. I know, people doubt me. I'm really not pushing it out. I'm just doing those vocal releases, and it causes a response in my diaphragm. Right? The inhalation, exhalation, I've been inhaling all my life, so I'm going to breathe in right here. And I'm going to exhale by letting it go. Caruso called that contrary motion. You breathe in, you pull it in, and then do a contrary motion. So what happens if I do that? Does the voice cover, for instance? How are you today? I can say any word I want to say without having to modify the vowel, and you can understand what I'm saying. See, it sets your diction free. They can understand you like crazy on your high notes because you don't have to go if you can keep the exhalation leaning against your diaphragm. If I push like that, I get a pressure. Those people who are looking for more volume, when you exhale, how loud can you exhale before it starts reacting up in here someplace? So I'm going, but that's an exhalation. Now that's the amount that comes in when I exhale. What if I want more volume? And I'll exhale harder, louder. I'll go, well, I can probably do that for a while and get away with it, right? Certainly if I get strong enough. But do I want to? See? Do I really want to do that? Why not just find the music that is suitable for my voice and not try to make my voice bigger all the time? See? So I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to exhale. How are you today? 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 And you have all those, all that music where you sit on a high tessitura and have to sustain it. There are a few very famous ones, Fidelio of Beethoven, or even Damnation of Faust, or Rosencavalier of Tenor is a vicious bear. I just get paid to sing it all the time because I could do it and everybody else would cancel. They couldn't sing it. It's a very, very high line, right? Lucia di Lammermoor, right? But once you get up there and you're going, the whole idea is to go, and not, think about it. You hear people singing something like, non vedrai farfallone amoroso. Well, is that the way you exhale? Do you exhale? No. You exhale. Non vedrai farfallone amoroso. And by the way, the Italian language is spoken that way. Italian language is not spoken with all these separations and bounces, and that's why the composers had to write sforzandi and accents and all kinds of things. It's not in the basic language to constantly be accenting. See? So you're going to go, and look at French. Look at French. Should I break that up and be doing this the whole time? How do I inhale and exhale? Think about it. I remember Franco Corelli in his masterclass going, and he'd go on for minutes. Not doing that, everybody was like, oh my God, it's unbelievable. But the one thing he and Jerome Hines both did is they sustained that inhalation, and they used that noise to create resistance, so the muscles way down the lower back would work, would work to pull the air through a resistant glottis. And it's called a Miller maneuver. It has a name in medicine. It's opposite, where you go and stop the breath against here with this. You go, then you relax this and keep that. That's called the Valsalva maneuver. Both are very usable. So if you do all of these little exercises and get them good, you'll find that your voice will just get, your singing would get better and better and better, and your voice will get better, and you don't really have to do anything. You have to worry about it. All this and doing all this stuff and oh and why? See, holding their head down like that and going oh. I did that when I was in college and sang as a bass. Sang like that. Right? It went maybe 10 feet, and if one violin played, you couldn't hear me. It's all tracheal resonance. It's all in the throat. If you want to sing big, look at all these videos. I was watching Beniamino Gigli the other day. He has his hands in his pockets like this, Signor Paradiso from L'Africaine, and he throws his head back like this. What in the world were they doing? If I throw my head back, where must I breathe and where must I lean my breath? So where do I exhale? See? Breathe. If you want the stage director to like you and get a reputation as any kind of actor at all, you have to be free enough to not have to do that. What is that? See? All right, so then let's say for some reason, our orientation psychologically wants to sing in the mask. Well, then you must identify the true mask. Which resonance place up here is the true mask. A lot of people are going, yeah, 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 yeah. That's like turning the megaphone around backwards. Do you use the megaphone like this and then bring your voice into a little hole in the front? Is that the way that works? You know, think about it. I've got one here someplace. Megaphone works like that. Why would I bring my voice into a small little hole and call it focus? See? That's for people who never were singers, who have no idea what it means to sing over a 100-piece orchestra in a 5,000-seat theater and do it for hours and be heard, and not only hear you, but hear the music and hear the text. Well, this whole funk, it's worse than ridiculous. It's very damaging and can just kill careers, right? So, Beverly Sills and Marilyn Horne, let's see who else, and I think Kiri Takano started lifting the cheeks, see? And they brought the voice up here like that. Well, that's better because it gets the voice up here. Makes it a little bit that color, see? But I can sing that way. But if I go, it just kills. Now I got to raise my palate or do something to give the voice color. And I don't want to give the voice color. I don't want to do it. I want to have the voice. I don't want to have the color. And the way I get my color is by breathing. If I'm singing, the thing that's missing in that is I have no air column. Imagine a drum with no air bucket. Look at a snare drum, it goes rat-a-tat-tat, and you put it on top of a big Congo drum, and it goes boom. Same head, same skin, same stroke, but the air bucket gives it all that color quality. So you want to get so that you do vocalises. Now, if we're going to search for the mask, let's identify the mask. All right, so here we go. Hung. That NG is right there. Hung. And it's the false mask. If I sing there, I'm absolutely in a false mask. puts me right, opens my nose and puts me right in my nose. See? So if I want to find the true mask, I have to sing over this line. So where is over the line? First you got to identify the line. And then go over the line. All the vowels are sitting up here, not down here. Caruso said in his book, never sing into the nasal cavity. It's against all the rules of song, he said. Now, that was without microphones in those days until they started making recordings. But in the theater, they didn't have any microphones. He sang with these big orchestras, sang in these great big theaters all the time with a smashing voice. And he said, never sing in the nasal cavity. So what are you going to do? So you find some way to identify this. How are you today? I'm fine. Let's go outside and get something to eat. If I can keep my point of resonance above this line up here, right? I remember singing for Helge Rosvang, and he said it's in the eyes and above the eyes and the eyebrows and in the forehead. It's in this area up here. And Lindley Lehman wrote it's the upper front half of the skull. So which exercises do we want to do then? See? Not these. Nyam, 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 bingy, bingy, bingy. That pulls everything down. So I go, and I sing up there. I can keep my voice above this line all the time. What happens down here if I do that? Not much there. Here you go. See, it goes, you'll have people that prefer your sound on some of these exercises. Yum 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 ba 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 hung. I think if you do them enough, you do them all, really sort of practice them as part of your life. When you're sitting in the car at a red light, why can't you practice these vocal leases? They all run together and you end up with one voice that is yours. It's yours and it's very identifiable. One thing about all the great singers is you hear one note if you know them and you recognize it. Tell me, Caruso, Skipa, G, you name it. All the time. I can name well, more than tenors. I can probably tell you who's singing on almost anything and everything. And when you do this, your color of your voice, your quality of your voice becomes very, very individual. And it's very recognizable. And, you know, the FBI's use that to tape people and catch criminals because each voice they have what they call the voice print. And each voice is absolutely unique. See? Now, let's think about this a minute. I'm going to do, ladies do, I talked about this on the Men, Women, and Tenors tape. And you can use it a little bit more in regular singing. If I'm a lady, I go, ah, and I lean here in my chest register. I go, ah, and then I flip into the head voice, but I continue this exhalation. Ah, oh, if I'm a male singer, I start in the falsetto, and there's my emission. Hear that? That's my exhalation. When I attach my full voice, it's right there. Look at that. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. It stays there, therefore it stays here. This makes this. You can try to sing up here like on the hung ah, and you'll get a response. That's fine if you don't have a terrible cold or everything just stopped up and you can't find your voice, you can't find your resonance. That's when this hurts. Then if you get a stomach ache, which is always my problem, I had big stomach problems and discharged from the military for stomach. I never should have even been a singer, but I loved it so much. But the idea is to sing right there and to breathe in right there and do a contra motion and see what voice comes out. See, I go. La. What voice is that? That's me doing nothing. Therefore, it's got to be my voice. See, I'm not coloring. I'm not doing anything. Now, if I'm happy, I go sigh, or happy exhalation. Ah. Sad. Ah. Angry. Ah. See, there are a lot of different techniques that you can use to create things. There's a famous spinto technique people use. There's the German, what's it called? Verhalten is restrained, famous German restrained technique. Like that. You can sing that way too, see? Die weiße Lieder dieser Knaben, soll ich mir ins Herz gegraben. A lot of people like that sound, prefer that sound, especially in German music. And it has one big advantage, it lets you interrupt the tone, which is required in German language, that you interrupt and not run sounds together. Some of the text is very busy. Like if I want to exhale La Donna Mobile in English, I get oh, wie so trügerisch sind Weiberherzen, mögen sie klagen, mögen sie scherzen. If I want to use a restrained method on that, I go oh, wie so trügerisch sind Weiberherzen, mögen sie klagen, mögen sie scherzen. There are all kinds of ways to produce the voice. What we'd love to hear is more people trusting the instrument, identifying the instrument, and then trusting their instrument, and then being unique. I don't want to go hear 10 singers, and every one of them comes out and goes, oh, and they all sound artificial. There's nothing natural there. Their tongues are all the way down, swallowed someplace. Even some of the fabulous young talent like Netrebko, especially Jonas Kaufmann, pulls his tongue back like mad, you know. He's got his head down, he's got that chest voice working, oh, and all of a sudden, you know, you can't hear him. My students that sing in Covent Garden in London say that, you know, he's considered such fabulous talent, but after he left Mozart and started singing heavy, he's never been the great young tenor he was when he was a Mozart tenor. He was the best. After Fritz Wunderlich, he was the best and that stuff. But somebody told him to sing baritone, so he started singing darker. I personally don't care for it. I like him if he does nothing. I like for people to do nothing. Once you look at me and smile and say, hello, how are you today? Hello, how are you today? It's so nice to be here with you. If I do that on one exhalation, I go, how are you today? It's so nice to be here with you. I don't think I need any more than that. If I need more than that, I certainly do not want to manufacture it, right? Not with these, all these little muscles up here that are so eager to help. Hey, remember that one? How about yum 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 ya? How about that one? Hung ah ooh ah. In other words, you learn to make all the vocal effects that you will need by doing nothing here. That's why it will last forever. If you can leave it alone, it'll last as long as you do. I hope I'll last longer because I know my voice will last longer. See, in other words, if my voice goes, then the light goes out for me. I sing all day for fun. I teach all day for fun. I have been accused of not being a quiet type person. So I use my voice a lot. And if you can keep it on the diaphragm, listen to babies. Babies go, and they can do it all day long. I've had 4, and they can cry all day long if they're teething or something, and they never get hoarse. If a baby gets hoarse, you got to take them to the doctor. It's a germ. Because they are so diaphragmatic. Watch our son, Pablo, they got up in a master class at Juilliard in New York and said somebody said, well, how do you support? Or somebody, how do you breathe? How do you support? He said, it's here like a baby. Push, push, push. Everybody went crazy. You know, he was teaching them to go out there while singing. Everybody there was learning to pull in while singing. See? But they don't have anybody there who's a singer on the faculty. If you were a real singer, and you sung these 4 and 5 hour operas, let me tell you something. Meistersinger is 5.5 hours. Don Carlo has got, what, 49 high B flats and sings for 4 hours and sings like this all night. I mean, Queen of Spades or Tchaikovsky, those are the big ones that I sang, and those are considered middleweight parts. They're not the heroic parts. The heroic parts are unbelievable what's demanded. And when you hear the orchestra, 120, 130 piece orchestra blasting away fortissimo, and you're up there in your middle voice singing somewhere in your middle register, and you're supposed to not only be heard but project text and the whole thing. I don't know. I got offered that stuff all the time, and I never took it. I was afraid. It was offered to Tello, and I took that one, and then got injured in the summer before that, and canceled that and couldn't do it. And that was my most dangerous moment. A very fortunate injury, I think. I think I would have injured something else if I'd done Otello, I think. Anyway, and then the danger is you'll have the success at it. It'll be a big success when you do it. And oh, great, fabulous voice, blah, 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 fabulous actor, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden people only offer you that stuff. And it's just wearing on your voice like crazy, see. But why not sing something light and lyric, right? Think about that. Why isn't that enough for me? It's not even a matter of what's enough for them. Is it enough for me? So you sit in your car or wherever you are, and you go and you say all the vowels, and then of course here's the next question. We'll do this on another tape. Well, where are the vowels? See, where's everything happening that I can do nothing? Think of that. There's no action, so it's up to you to decide if you want to sing on your exhalation like that. See? Dramatic music, what do? The same thing. I exhale. Or something like, Je ne me quitte pas, oh ma Carmen, ah, souviens-toi du passé, eh bien. I'm going, and if that's not enough, folks, I'm sorry. In my books, in my mind, I don't have any more, which means I would have to press or squeeze or do something to try to make that sound. And there is a technique you can use called spinto technique. But it's not for everyone. You need the right kind of vocal cords or you can wreck your voice, right? But still it's breathing. If I blow half my breath out and start singing, it's a change in my sound. And some people sing that way all the time, even with lyric voices, and they lose their voices. And it makes that sort of more, snarly sound. So what you want to do is just breathe behind you and down, and then exhale. And when you do it, every time you breathe in, pull this in, and then exhale by letting it out. And then what voice do I get when I do that? I can only tell you through experience, I sang that nearly 500 times, it's absolutely will fill any theater in the world over the orchestra. Okay? All right. Basta. Enough for now. Take care. Bye.